Alright, today we're going to look at adding and subtracting fractions, finding the least common denominator, or in short we would say LCD. Before we get into finding the LCD, let's build up to finding the least common denominator. And I want to first just look at some vocabulary words. And the first one is multiples. Multiples is multiplying a number by natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, would give us a multiple or gives multiples of the number. For example, let's find multiples of 3. To find multiples of 3, we take 3 and beginning with 1, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 6. 3 times 3 9. 3 times 4 12. 3 times 5 15. 3 times 6, we can keep going. But anytime we multiply a number by natural numbers will give us a multiple. So this is the first vocabulary word, multiples. Next, we're going to look at common multiples. A common multiple of two numbers is a multiple of both numbers. A common multiple. So I want us to just list some multiples. We're going to list the some multiples for 4 and 6. We're going to list multiples of 4 and 6. So I'm just going to make a column, multiples of 4, multiples of 6. So as we go down the line, 4 times 1, we can keep going. 4 times 2, we have 8. Times 3, we have 12. Times 4, we'll just, for practice sake, list the first 10 multiples of each number. Times 4, we have 16. We can go down the line. Times 5. Times 6. Times 7. And we can keep going. Times 10, we have 40. Okay? Now, multiples of 6. 6 times 1. 6 times 2. 12 times 3. We have 18 times 4. We have 24 times 5. 30 times 6. We have 36. We can keep going. Down to times 10, we have 60. Now, a common multiple. If I said list the first two common multiples of 4 and 6, what would be the first two common multiples for 4 and 6? Look at your table. The first two common multiples of 4 and 6, we have 12, and we also have 24. Okay, those are the first two common multiples for the given number. Now, let's look at the next definition. A blank, in parentheses, LCM, which represents the least common multiple, is the smallest multiple that is common to two or more numbers. We have the least common multiple. So let's find the least common multiple for 4 and 6. And the least common multiple, and that would be the LCM for 4 and 6, is 12. 24 is a common multiple, but it's not the smallest. And you knowing how to find the least common multiple, in turn we're going to talk about the LCD, will help you in finding or simplifying a fraction when you have two different denominators. Okay, and then last vocabulary, we're going to look at LCD. LCD represents the least common denominator. But the reason why they're saying least common denominator, because your answer is going to be in the form of a fraction. Least common denominator for two fractions is the smallest positive number divisible by all denominators of the original fraction. And then we're going to look at several ways on how to find the least common denominator. And once you find a way that you like, that you find the easiest to use that method. But we will be looking at the different ways that you can find the LCD. Methods to finding the LCD. First method, list the multiples using the LCM method, least common multiple method. List the multiples of each number, then look for the smallest number that appears in each list. So let's look at some examples. We have here, find the LCD of 7/8 and 11/16. So let's look at the denominators, the numbers that's in there in each denominator, 8 and 16. Let's list the multiples of 8. Then we're going to list the multiples of 16. 8 times 1, we have 18. 8 times 1, we have 8. 8 times 2, we have 16. 8 times 3, we have 24. And we can keep going, but we're going to just start with the first couple of multiples. Listing multiples of 16. 16 times 1, 16. 16 times 2, 32. 16 times 3, we have 48. So as you look at the multiples in each list, what do you see that's in common? And there may be some where you have several in common, but we're looking for the least. That's what we're looking for. So as we are searching for the least common denominator, or in turn the multiple of 8 and 16, the least, the LCD for this question is 16. Second method, listing multiples of the larger number only. Well, we have here, write the multiples of the largest denominator, starting with the number itself, until a multiple common to all denominators in the list is found. Then the multiple found in this first step will be the LCD. or is the LCD. So let's look at an example. Find the LCD of 5/12 and 2/9. So instead of listing multiples of both, looking at your denominator 12 and 9, instead of listing multiples for both, let's list the multiples of the larger number, 12. Beginning with the number itself. So 12 times 1, we have 12. 12 times 2, 24. 12 times 3, 36. 12 times 4, 48. 12 times 5, we have 60. Now we can keep going, but what the rule says, I started off with the first 5 factors of 12. We can go up to 10, you can go up to 20. It can be time consuming, but if you find this method easy, that's fine. But we're going to take the 9, the smaller number, and we just go down the line. Ask yourself, can 9 divide into 12 evenly? So no, we're going to cross that out. Can 9 divide into 24 evenly? No. Can 9 divide into 36 evenly? And we would say yes, because 9 divides into 36 4 times. And once you say yes, then that will be your LCD, the least common denominator. So our LCD is 36. And here again, the LCD for 12 and 9 is 36. Find the LCD of 23 over 25 and 1 over 30. So we're going to list the multiples of the larger number. Look at your denominators. We have 25 and 30, 30 being the greatest number. And let's just start. 30 times 1, we have 30. 30 times 2, 60. 30 times 3, 90. 30 times 4. Now as I go down the list, you can ask yourselves, can 25 divide into 30? Can 25 divide into 90? And so on as we get to a multiple that will be common to the 25 and 30. So 30 times 4, 120. 30 times 5, 150. And we can keep going. 30 times 6 if you want to. We have 180. But as we go down the list, we can look at and ask ourselves, can 25 divide into 30 evenly? No. 60? No. Can 25 divide into 90 evenly? No, because you know multiples of 25. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. So we know 25 cannot divide into 120, but 25 can divide into 150. So our LCD is for 25 and 30, 150.